Well, good morning everyone. So, we will just in this class we will look into some of the problems, numerical problems, and see how to solve these problems. And so you know you have now a fairly detailed idea of various theories. Those will be associated for calculation of performing parameters of any membrane separation process, for example permeate flux, permeate concentration, so on and so forth. Now, in about 2-3 classes we will be looking into some of the practical examples and how to we will really solve some of the problems, how to utilize those theories that we have already gone through, developed and gone through. Okay. So, the first problem that we are talking about, it is basically an ultrafiltration process, and we are talking about the osmotic pressure controlled filtration. Controlled ultrafiltration. The first data that is given, they have given some data on permeate flux using pure distilled water. For example, you have got the flux of 4.14 into 10 to the minus 6 meter cube per meter square second at 276 kilopascal, and 8.28 into 10 to the minus 6 meter cube per meter square second at 552 kilopascal. Okay. These data are given. And another data is given that under high stirring speed, at 138 kilopascal pressure and 0.5 kg per meter cube of solute concentration in feed, one conducts the experiment and gets a permeate concentration about 0.04 kg per meter cube. So, these data are given. The osmotic pressure of the solution is also given as pi is equal to 37.5 into 10 square C plus 10 C square. This is the osmotic pressure as a function of concentration is given, where the units are very important because this is an empirical relation. Pi is in Pascal and C is in kg per meter cube. So, these are the data given, and what is the actual problem? We are talking about a steady state cross flow ultrafiltration system in a rectangular cell. Okay. So, rectangular cell diameter and the geometric specification should be given to you. So, geometric specifications are given as the cell length is 1 meter and equivalent diameter is 1 millimeter, that means around 10 to the power minus 3 meter. Now, we conduct an experiment with feed concentration of solute 10 kg per meter cube, delta P transmembrane pressure drop of 345 kilopascal, cross flow velocity is given as 0.5 meter per second, solute diffusivity in the bulk is given as 10 to the power minus 11 meter square per second. Okay. So, these are the geometric specifications. two data are already given. These are the operating conditions and this is the property of the solute given in the feed. Now, what you have to find out is that you have to find out permeate flux and permeate concentration, that you have to find out. You have to also find out how much membrane area is required to produce 500 liter per hour of filtrate under the above operating conditions. And the assumption is film theory is valid. Okay. The film theory is valid. So, let us, so this is the actual problem and let us see what we can get from the first informations that is that those are given. From these data, what you can calculate, you can calculate, this is the basically permeate flux that you are obtaining using distilled water at various pressure. So, from these data one can calculate what is the membrane permeability. So, you can obtain the permeability from this data. Now, under high stirring speed 138 kilopascal pressure, that means that is at a very low pressure and 0.5 kg per meter cube solute concentration in the feed, that means this is very dilute solution. Okay. That means we are talking about these conditions, means this is a low polarizable conditions. These conditions favor low concentration polarizations. Now, if you remember, we defined the definition of real retention, that under low polarizable conditions the observed retention is almost equal to real retention. So, therefore, under these conditions whatever the permeate concentration you are getting, okay, using that data you can estimate the value of real retention, because from this if you calculate the what is the observed retention, you will be get that will be almost same as the real retention. And this is the osmotic pressure versus concentration relation, and diffusivity of the solute is given as 10 to the minus 11 meter square per second. This is a steady state cross flow system in a rectangular cell. So, you should record the specification of the rectangular cell. Length is given as 1 meter, equivalent diameter is given by 1 millimeter. The feed concentration is 10 kg per meter cube, delta P is given, cross flow velocity is given. You have to find out the permeate flux and permeate concentration. And also, if you would like to have a productivity of 500 liter per hour, what will be the membrane area required at the particular operating conditions. We assume that the film theory is valid, that means there is a constant film thickness that is present over the membrane surface, that is valid, and we are going to calculate what are the various quantities that has been asked for. So, the first data, let us look into the solution now. From the first data, pure distilled water data, we will be able to calculate the membrane permeability. Pure distilled water flux pressure history, we can calculate the membrane permeability. Membrane permeability LP. So, what is LP? LP will be nothing but J naught LP del P. If you write down the expression J naught is equal to LP del P, that means the pure water flux will be proportional to the transmembrane pressure drop. Since it is pure water, it is distilled water, there is no question of osmotic pressure. So, osmotic pressure will be 0 and you can calculate what is the value of LP. LP will be nothing but J naught divided by delta P. Now, J0 value, the pure water flux value at two different pressure drops are given in the problem. So, therefore, we just take the arithmetic average of the two data. Okay. So, LP will be given as LP will be half of 4.14 into 10 to the power minus 6 divided by 276 into 10 cube plus 8.28 into 10 to the power minus 6 divided by 552 into 10 cube. Okay. So, it was given that at 276 kilopascal pressure you will be getting a permeate flux of 4.14 into 10 to the minus 6, and at 552 kilopascal you will be getting around 8.28 into 10 to the minus 6. So, using both the conditions, both the values, you can calculate the average permeability, and it turns out to be 1.5 into 10 to the power minus 11 meter by Pascal second. Okay. So, from the first set of data you will be able to calculate the membrane permeability, or how porous the membrane is. Now, as I told earlier that if you look into the order of magnitude of the LP value, you will be getting an idea what kind of membrane you are talking about. Since the LP is in the order of 10 to the minus 11, we are talking about an ultrafiltration membrane. Okay. If it is in the order of 10 to the minus 12, then we are talking about a reverse osmosis membrane. If it is in the order of 10 to the minus 10, then we will be talking about a microfiltration membrane. Okay. Now, the second information that we will be getting from the data given, that is at low polarization conditions, low polarization condition means you are going to have very high stirring in the system or very high turbulence. So, in that case real retention will be approaching to observed retention. The value of the permeate concentration is given and the value of the feed concentration is given. So, you can calculate what is the value of observed retention, 1 minus 0.04 divided by 0.5. Okay. So, 0.5 was the 0.5 kg per meter cube was the feed concentration, and 0.04 kg per meter cube was the permeate concentration, and this turns out to be 0.92. Okay. So, real retention for this particular membrane is about 0.92. Okay. So, these are the data. So, now your all the informations are complete. You know the value of LP, you know the value of real retention, the variation of osmotic pressure as a concentration of the solute in a functional form is given, that is 37.5 into 10 square C plus 10 C square. Okay. So, this becomes nothing but B1 C plus B2 C square, L is equal to 1 meter, D equivalent is given as 10 to the power minus 3 meter 1 millimeter, C naught is given as 10 kg per meter cube, delta P is given as 345 kilopascal. So, this will be 3.45 in 10 to the power 5 Pascal, U0 is given as 0.5 meter per second, diffusivity of solute is given as 10 to the power minus 11 meter square per second. So, now you will be using the film theory equation and calculate the stuff, but before doing that one has to estimate the mass transfer coefficient. Okay. The first step of estimating mass transfer coefficient is you calculate the estimation of mass transfer coefficient, you calculate the Reynolds number. Okay. And depending on the Reynolds number, rho U0 d by mu, okay, you will be deciding whether the flow will be laminar or the flow will be turbulent. You take the almost water viscosity or density. So, it will be 10 cube, U naught is given as 0.5 meter per second, D equivalent is 10 to the power minus 3 meter, and mu will be 10 to the power minus 3 Pascal, okay, Pascal second. So, this will be how much? 10 to the minus 3 will be cancelling out. So, this will be around 500. So, Reynolds number will be much less than 2200. So, you will be having a laminar flow. Okay. So, for the laminar flow you have to use the Sherwood number relationship, which is valid for the laminar flow regime, that is K dE by D is nothing but 1.85 Reynolds Schmidt d by L raised to the power 1 upon 3. If this Reynolds number would have turned out to be around more than 4000, I would have taken the Sherwood number relationship for the turbulent flow as the Ditus-Boelter relationship. Okay. So, you can calculate. So, this K becomes 1.85 d by dE u0 d square by dl raised to the power 1 upon 3. You put the expression of Reynolds number, you put the expression of Schmidt number, mu by rho d, mu and rho will be cancelled out in the in this bracket, and what is remaining will be u0 d square by dl. Now, you put the values. If you put the values, it turns out to be okay. So, this becomes u0 d square by d times L raised to the power 1 upon 3. If you observe d by d within this bracket. Okay. So, this will turn out to be 1.85 0.5 into 10 to the power minus 22. 0.5 is velocity value, d is 10 to the minus 11. So, d square will be 10 to the minus 22, dE will be 10 to the minus 3, length will be 1, right, raised to the power 1 upon 3, and this will return you a value of 6.82 into 10 to the power minus 7 meter per second. So, you can estimate the mass transfer coefficient by looking into the flow regime and selecting the appropriate Sherwood number relationship for that particular flow regime. Okay. So, once you do that, now you write down the governing equations for the film theory. Equations valid for film theory. Okay. J is equal to K ln Cm minus Cp. If you remember, this you obtained by using the solute mass balance over the membrane surface, and another relation was J Lp times del p minus del pi, that is the solvent flux you obtained from boundary layer analysis from film theory, and these you obtained from the solvent flux from Darcy's law, that is valid for the transport through the porous medium. So, now we will be equating them up. So, it becomes K ln Cm minus Cp divided by C naught minus Cp is equal to Lp delta p minus delta pi, right. Now, we will replace Cp in favor of Cm in terms of in the definition of real retention. So, Cp is nothing but Cm into 1 minus Rr. So, this becomes K ln Cm Rr, the numerator, and the denominator becomes C naught minus Cm into 1 minus Rr is equal to Lp times del p minus del pi. Okay. Now, in this expression we have already estimated real retention, and it was around 0.92. Okay. Now, we will just simplify the expression of delta pi. The expression of pi was given as B1 c plus B2 c square, where the coefficients B1 and B2 are given. So, what is delta pi? Delta pi will be nothing but pi at the membrane surface minus pi at the permeate stream. Pi at the membrane surface will be function of Cm, pi at the permeate stream will be the function of Cp. So, therefore, this will be B1 Cm plus B2 Cm square minus B1 Cp minus B2 Cp square. So, this becomes B1 times Cm minus Cp plus B2 times Cm square minus Cp square. Now, again we will replace Cp in terms of Cm through the definition of real retention. If you do that, this becomes B1 Cm Rr plus B2 Cm square 1 minus Rr square. So, what you get? So, this expression K ln Cm Rr divided by C naught into Cm 1 minus Rr is equal to Lp del P minus B1 Rr Cm minus B2 Cm square 1 minus Rr square. Now, in this equation we have already estimated the value of K, that will be in the order of 10 to the minus 7 meter per second, we have already done it. Real retention we have already estimated, that is the value of 0.92. So, left hand side is completely known except the value of Cm. On the right hand side we have already estimated the value of Lp, that is the membrane permeability. We know what is the operating pressure, transmembrane pressure drop delta P. B1 and B2 are the coefficients of osmotic pressure, those are given to you, and value of real retention are known. So, this will be a nonlinear algebraic equation in terms of Cm only. So, you can take this equation on the left hand side or take this equation on the right hand side and write it in the form of G times Cm is equal to 0. Okay. So, it becomes a nonlinear algebraic equation in one variable Cm only. Now, if you really do that, if you really put the values of different quantities in this equation, this turns out to be 6.82 into 10 to the power minus 7 ln 0.92 Cm divided by 10 minus 0.08 Cm is equal to 1.5 into 10 to the power minus 11, that is the value of Lp, 3.45 into 10 to the power 5, that will be value of del P, minus 3450 Cm minus 9.94 Cm square. So, in a neat form this becomes 0.92 times Cm 10 minus 0.08 times Cm bracket is equal to 7.6 1 minus 0.1 Cm minus 2.88 into 10 to the power minus 5 Cm square. Now, you have to really do a trial and error solution in order to get this to get left hand side is equal to right hand side. So, you take different values of, you guess various values of Cm. So, I just give a table Cm left hand side, right hand side, this is the left hand side, this is the right hand side. If you guess a value of Cm of 11 kg per meter cube, and the idea is Cm should be always greater than C naught. Okay. So, your guess value should never be below the value of C naught. So, if you guess a value of Cm equal to 11, this becomes 0.104, right hand side is 6.7. If it is 20, the left hand side is 0.784, the right hand side becomes 6. If it is 50, it becomes 2.036, 3.25, and so it is now less. If it is around 60, so it will be 2.36 and 2.25. Okay. So, this becomes higher. So, it will be between 50 and 60, right. So, the trend changes and Cm will be roughly around 58 kg per meter cube. It will be around, the convergence will be around 58 kg per meter cube. In fact, this can be done even in a programmable calculator. So, you can do it in the exam, but in an actual problem where it becomes a bit complicated, you can use Newton-Raphson routine to do it numerically. Okay. In fact, in an actual problem this will be coupled with the set of ODEs in the actual module design you have already seen. So, there you cannot use the programmable calculator, you have to really do the computer coding numerically. Okay. So, we can so for this particular problem the value of Cm will be 58 kg per meter cube and the permeate concentration Cp becomes Cm into 1 minus real retention, and the value of real retention is 0.98. So, it will be 1 minus Rr is nothing but 0.02, 0.92. So, it becomes 0.08. Okay. So, it becomes 0.08 into 58 and that turns out to be 4.64 kg per meter cube. Okay. So, J and the value of permeate flux J is equal to K ln Cm minus Cp divided by C naught minus Cp. If you really put the values, then it turns out to be 1.57 into 10 to the power minus 6 meter cube per meter square second. So, the value of permeate concentration we will be getting around 4.64 kg per meter cube, where feed concentration was 10 kg per meter cube. So, the observed retention that we will be getting is Cp by C naught. So, it will be 1 minus 0.464. So, you are going to get around 53.6% rejection of this particular solute using this particular membrane. Okay. And the value of permeate flux or so this gives the quality of the permeate, and the quantity of the permeate will be giving the filtrate rate or the permeate flux, that will be 1.57 into 10 to the minus 6 meter cube per meter square second. If you like to express it in liter per meter square hour, you can do that. So, this becomes 1.57 into 10 to the minus 6 meter cube per meter square second, and you have to multiply it by a factor of 3.6 into 10 to the power 6 to convert it into liter per meter square hour. Okay. So, 1.57 into 10 to the power minus 6, it should be multiplied by 3.6 into 10 to the power 6 to get this unit conversion liter per meter square hour. Okay. So, 7, okay, 5.76. So, it will be around 5.76, 5.7 liter per meter square hour. Okay. I have just taken it to 1.6. Okay. If you multiply, so roughly you will be getting a permeate flux of the productivity of the process around 5.7 liter per meter square hour. So, about 6 liter per meter square hour. That means, if you will be able to provide a membrane area of 1 meter square, 1 meter square means 3 feet by 3 feet, right. If you will be able to provide a 1 meter square membrane area, then in 1 hour under the for this particular solute with these concentrations and the operating conditions and the composition, you are going to get around 6 liter per hour permeate flux of the productivity. Okay. Now, in the second part of the problem, the productivity it was designed as 500 liter per hour. Designed productivity is 500 liter per hour. So, the area required, area of membrane that you are going to require is this productivity P divided by the permeate flux, right, that will give you the area. So, 500 liter per hour, and you are going to have 6 liter per meter square hour divided by 6 meter square. Around 83 meter square of membrane area you will be requiring to achieve a productivity of the process of 500 liter per hour. Now, how to achieve 83 meter square? That is pretty high number. So, you can either take a spiral wound module, or you can take a hollow fiber module, so that the membrane area will be higher, or you can take number of modules, small modules in series, not in series, in parallel, right, number of modules in parallel. So, the area will be more. So, same feed will be going to, let us say, if one module will be having, you will be able to give, let us say, around 10 meters square, then same feed from a common header must be going to 8 such units. Okay. This is the first unit, this is the 8th unit, and the permeate that you are going to collect, they will be collected in a common header, and from there you will be getting the total output, right. So, if you put all these modules in parallel, then you are going to get that much of area, and you are, if you have 10 meters square of each module, then you have to put 8 modules in parallel, and we are going to get the total output, that is the 500 liter in 1 hour. Okay. So, that goes the first problem. Now, let us look into the problem number 2. The problem number 2 is again it is an ultrafiltration process, but in this case we are concentrating a protein. We are concentrating a protein solution. Now, in this case, since the protein solution will be having a high molecular weight, it will be having a larger size. So, therefore, the filtration is gel layer control in this particular case. The previous problem we have done for the osmotic pressure control case. Now, it is a gel layer controlling filtration. The gel concentration is given as 300 kg per meter cube. Okay. And filtration takes place in a thin rectangular channel. The filtration equipment is a thin rectangular channel with the equivalent diameter is given. Equivalent diameter is 2 millimeter and width is given as 4 centimeter. Okay. The flow velocity is u naught, the cross flow velocity is given as 0.5 meter per second, and the protein diffusivity in aqueous solution is given as 2 into 10 to the power minus 11 meter square per second. In this case, we are going to design the equipment. What is the other design parameter required to get this equipment? You want to have the length of the channel. Okay. So, what is the length of the channel? Membrane module. If you are targeting for a filtration rate for a productivity liter per day. So, if you would like to produce a concentrated protein solution at the rate of 100 liter per day, what is the requirement of the length of the channel that we are going to design? Okay. Again, and here we will assume the laminar flow and assume a laminar flow. In fact, the flow becomes laminar, right? The u naught will be 0.5 meter per second and the equivalent diameter is 2 millimeter. You can calculate the Reynolds number. It becomes rho u0 d by mu, and if the density and viscosity are almost like water. So, this becomes 10 to the power 6 rho by mu. Rho is 10 to the power 3, mu is 10 to the power minus 3. So, rho by mu will be 10 to the power 6, u0 is 0.5 and d equivalent will be 2 millimeter. So, 2 into 10 to the power minus 3. So, 2 into 0.5 is 1, 10 to the power 6 into 10 to the minus 3 will be 10 cube, that is 1000. It is obviously less than 2200. So, you are going to use the Sharut number as 1.85 Reynolds Smith d by L raised to the power 1 upon 3 for the laminar flow regime. Okay. Now, let us look into the solution to this problem. This problem is straightforward. You have given all the necessary quantities, that is C naught is 10 kg per meter cube, C gel concentration is given as 300 kg per meter cube, equivalent diameter is given as 2 millimeter, 2 into 10 to the power minus 3 meter, width of the module is given as 4 centimeter, that is 0.04 meter, u naught is given as 0.5 meter per second and diffusivity will be 2 into 10 to the minus 11 meter square per second. Okay. So, if you can calculate the mass transfer coefficient from this relationship, the mass transfer coefficient will turn out to be, I am not doing that here. Okay, so I have to do it probably, then things will be clearer to you. So, first step will be the estimation of the mass transfer coefficient from this relationship. K d by d, because the length is not known for this particular problem, 1.85 Reynolds Schmidt d by L raised to the power 1 upon 3. So, it will be K is nothing but 1.85 d by d, Reynolds is rho u0 d by mu, Schmidt is mu by rho d, dE by L raised to the power 1 upon 3. So, this becomes 1.85 d over d, rho will be cancelling out, mu will be gone. So, it will be u0 d square by dl raised to the power 1 upon 3. So, it becomes u0 d square del raised to the power 1 upon 3. So, that is the mass transfer coefficient. Now, we know all the values of u0, we know the value of d and de, but we do not know the value of L, that we are going to find out. So, if you do that, I think it turns out to be, if you really put the values, it turns out to be 8.59 into 10 to the power minus 7 divided by L to the power 1 upon 3. Okay. And okay, fine. That is the from the information given. You have estimated the mass transfer coefficient. Then you calculate what is the filtration rate. Filtration rate, and we have to transfer into the meter cube per second. It is given as 100 liter per day. If you transfer into meter cube per second, it turns out to be 1.157 into 10 to the power minus 6 meter cube per second. And what is the membrane area? Membrane area, the width is given and the length you are going to find out. The membrane area will be W times L, right, that much meter square. Okay. Now, you use the, so J times A will be nothing but the filtration area, filtration rate, that is meter cube per second. Okay. And what is J? J is the permeate flux, that for a gel controlled ultrafiltration system, you know the permeate flux K is equal to, J is equal to K ln Cg by C naught simply. So, this becomes 8.59 into 10 to the power minus 7 divided by L to the power 1 upon 3 ln 300 by 10. Okay. So, J turns out to be 2.92 into 10 to the power minus 6 divided by L to the power 1 upon 3. So, you can calculate it. J times A is equal to filtration rate, that is 1.157 into 10 to the power minus 6. So, this becomes 2.92 into 10 to the power minus 6 divided by L to the power 1 upon 3 multiplied by area. Area we have already found out that it is 0.04 times L, width is 0.04 centimeter, 0.04 meter. Now, in this particular problem, it is given only at the bottom. If it is, it will be specified in the problem. For this particular problem, I have solved the problem keeping the membrane only at the bottom of the channel. If it is put on the top of the channel, it will be twice of area. Okay. So, that will be given in the problem. Otherwise, if it is, even if it is not stated, you just assume something that we are assuming membrane is kept on both the walls and do it accordingly. So, in this particular problem, we have used that area is membrane is kept only at the bottom of the channel. Okay. So, 0.04 L is equal to 1.157 into 10 to the power minus 6. 10 to the minus 6. Okay. So, this turns out to be L is equal to around 30 meter. Okay. So, you require about 30 meter of membrane module to get this much of filtration area if you put membrane only at the bottom of the channel. Now, you can it is difficult to get a 30 meter, that means around 90 feet of the module. So, you can even break down this module into 3 small modules and give them, let us say 10 meter each or 4 or 5 of them and put them in parallel. Okay. So, that will provide that much of membrane area. So, now let us go to the third kind of problem. This problem is for a batch ultrafiltration system, but it is gel layer controlling. Okay. In this case, again it is a cross flow ultrafiltration, but in this particular case the permeate is not recycled back. Okay. So, permeate in a steady state process, what we used to do, the permeate is recycled back, the retentate is also recycled back, and you take a small sample from the permeate to analysis for analysis of the permeate concentration. The amount that you are taking from the permeate stream for analysis will be very small, it does not matter, it does not really matter. So, in that case what happens, the feed concentration will always be constant. So, you are basically pumping, filtering the same feed concentration. So, that will be at the steady state. Now, in this case what will happen, permeate is not recycled back means you are extracting water, mostly water out of it. In gel control polarization process, the permeate concentration will be almost 0, it will be almost pure water. So, you are extracting water out of the solution, the feed sample. So, therefore, the feed is going to get concentrated all the time. Okay. So, permeate is not recycled back in this process, therefore, the feed is concentrating. Feed is getting concentrated, and since you are extracting water out of it, the feed volume is getting decreased, right. And you assume that film theory is valid, that is an assumption. Okay. And the mass transfer coefficient, in this case it is directly given, otherwise you can if the recycle cross flow velocity is given, you can evaluate the Reynolds number and can select an appropriate mass transfer coefficient or Sharrood number relationship and can evaluate the mass transfer coefficient. But in this particular problem, value of mass transfer coefficient is given as k is equal to 2 into 10 to the power minus 5 meter per second. Okay. Initial feed concentration is 1 kg per meter cube. The initial feed concentration is given. The effective filtration area of the membrane is given as 0.2 meter square. Meter square, and gel layer concentration of the solute, gel concentration of solute is given as 500 kg per meter cube. Initial feed volume is given as that is given as 5 liters. Okay. Assuming there is no solute present in the permeate stream, because it is gel concentration, gel layer control filtration, Cp is equal to 0. Okay. And retentate concentration is much less than gel concentration. That means, gel concentration is pretty high and you are going to use a feed concentration of 1 kg per meter cube, and at any point of time we assume the bulk concentration is much less than Cg. That is a valid assumption, because if your starting feed concentration is 1 kg per meter cube and your gel concentration is 500 kg per meter cube, that is 500 times of that. So, So, at any point of time during the operation, although the bulk concentration will be increasing, it will be increasing, let us say, from 1 kg per meter cube to 2 kg per meter cube, 3 kg per meter cube, like that, but it will be always less than, much less than the gel concentration. Okay. And what you are going to find out? Find the time required for concentrating the feed concentration 10 times. Now, what is the volume remaining in the chamber? Volume of remaining liquid, remaining solution. In feed, we started with 5 liter of solution. How much? What is the volume of the feed liquid that is remaining in the feed chamber? So, that is the question. So, basically, this will be very important problem for anyone who will be doing the biochemical, biotechnology experiments. You would like to concentrate a particular protein solution from a particular concentration to a specific, let us say 5 times of that, 10 times of that. So, the volume will be much less, and if the membrane or ultrafiltration, all the specifications like the channel, dimension, geometry, area, etc., all known, that means because you are having the system at your hand, at your disposal, and how long you will continue this operation, what is the time required, that we are going to find out in this particular problem. Okay. So, let us look into the solution. Your C naught is 1 kg per meter cube, that is the feed concentration, that is Cb bulk concentration at time t is equal to 0, that is the initial concentration of the feed. Cg is given as 500 kg per meter cube. So, these are the informations, let us write them down. Mass transfer coefficient is given as 2 into 10 to the minus 5 meter per second. If you know the geometry of the flow domain, if you know the properties, you can estimate the mass transfer coefficient independently as well by identifying the appropriate Sherwood number relationship. And area of the membrane is given as 2 meters square. Okay. V naught is equal to initial feed volume, that is 5 liter. Now, what is the permeate flux? K ln Cg by Cb, right. K is given and Cg is also known, and what is Cb? Cb is the bulk concentration or feed concentration at any point of time. Initially, the Cb was equal to C naught at time t equal to 0. Cb is basically bulk concentration, bulk. Now, there is nothing like feed. Feed you have just given in initially, and after that it is going on. So, it is basically bulk concentration at any time point. Okay. So, what is the difference of this problem compared to the earlier problem? In the earlier problem, the bulk concentration was constant. In this case, the bulk concentration is not constant, it is a function of time. Why it is function of time? Because you are extracting water out of it, therefore, there is a reduction of feed volume, and because of the reduction of feed volume, the concentration is getting increased. Okay. So, in order to, so therefore, volume is decreasing and concentration is increasing. So, we must be writing overall mass balance and material balance in order to trap the variation of the volume and variation of the feed concentration. Okay. So, first you do overall material balance. What is overall material balance? Rate of accumulation is equal to rate of material in minus rate of material out. Since it is a batch process, you have dumped everything. So, there is nothing called rate of material in, that will be equal to 0. But since you are extracting water out of it, so there will be some material that is going out of the system. Okay. So, d dt, this is the rate of accumulations, rho times V. Rho times V is basically total mass that is remaining into the feed. So, we are neglecting the volume of the pipeline, etc. Okay, that will be very small. So, rho times V is the total material at any point of time, is equal to minus, there is nothing called material in, but there is material out. So, rate of in minus rate of out. So, minus j times A that is the total material that is going out in meter cube per unit time, you should multiply by the density of the permeate. So, that will be converted the total material that is going out in kg per unit time, right. It should be multiplied by rho permeate. Now, we have already discussed earlier that the density is a, so what is the difference between the rho in the bulk and rho in the permeate? In the permeate stream there is no solute, but the retentate stream, in the bulk stream it is laden with the solutes. So, therefore, concentration of solute is more in the bulk, but since density is a weak function of concentration, we can assume that rho in the bulk and rho of the permeate will be almost equal. Okay, we assume. So, that is an assumption, and it is valid assumption because density is a very weak function of concentration. Okay. If that is the case, we get the governing equation of volume change in the feed as minus J A. So, this is equation number 1. Okay. At time t is equal to 0, we know V is equal to V naught. V naught was given to you. Okay. Now, next we get the governing. So, this is the governing equation of volume. Next we get the governing equation of bulk concentration. For that, what we have to do? We do an overall material solute balance. Rate of accumulation is equal to rate of material, that is solute, that is going into the system, minus rate of the solute that is going out of the system. There is nothing going in. So, you will be having d dt of C times V. This is the concentration C bulk, let us say C bulk times V. V is the volume at any point of time, Cb is the concentration at any point of time. So, this is the amount of material of the particular solute present in the system is equal to, there is nothing going into the system, okay, minus nothing going out of the system, because since it is a gel layer control filtration, the permeate concentration will be equal to 0. So, there is no solute present that is going in the permeate stream. So, Cp will be equal to 0, right. So, this will be equal to 0. That means, Cb times V will be equal to constant. That means, Cb times V is equal to nothing but C naught V naught, because these values are known at time t is equal to 0. So, at any point of time you can evaluate Cb, that is nothing but C naught by V naught, C naught times V naught divided by V. Since volume is decreasing as a function of time, that will give you corresponding increase in bulk concentration. So, this is the governing equation of solute concentration. Okay. Now, you can write it in terms of V, C naught V naught divided by Cb, and we know the equation 1 dV dt is nothing but J times A. So, we just take the time derivative of this expression and put it there. So, equation 1 and this, let us say this is equation 2, combine equation 1 and 2, combine equation 1 and 2 means take the time derivative of V. So, what is this? DV dt will be nothing but C naught V naught divided by Cb square with a minus sign dCb dt, right. That is the derivative of dV dt, and put it there. Okay. If you do that, you will be getting d dt of C naught V naught divided by Cb is equal to minus Ka ln Cg by Cb. Okay. And just get the derivative of that we have already done, minus C naught V naught by Cb square dCb dt will be minus Ka ln Cg by Cb. I am just writing the final expression. So, dCb dt will be minus K times A divided by C naught V naught Cb square ln Cb by Cg, right. Now, let us see how we can simplify it, because this integration you can take Cb square in the denominator and take dt on the other side, and you can integrate, but that will give you that you require numerical integration, you do not have an analytical expression for this, but this can be simplified further by the assumption that Cb at any point of time will be much less than Cg. So, Cb square, this ln Cb by Cg can be written as 1 minus Cg minus Cb divided by Cg. Okay. So, these will be giving you, and since the approximation that you know Cg is much greater than Cb. So, using that approximation, I am just omitting number of steps, you please try to derive them. The expression of dCb turns out to be Ka divided by C naught V naught Cb square minus Cb cube divided by Cg. That means, you can for under this condition, this you can expand this 1 minus Cg by Cb, Cg minus Cb by Cg, assuming this will be very small. Okay. So, you do an expansion and try to get this expression, and now you will be able to get an analytical integration. So, this becomes dCb Cb square 1 minus Cb by Cg is equal to Ka C naught V naught dt, and you can really integrate it out. Okay. In fact, Cb by Cg will be very small, right. So, 1 minus Cb by Cg will be roughly approximated as 1. Okay. So, it will be roughly approximated as 1. So, this will be nothing but Cb minus 2 dCb K C naught V naught times t. So, it will be from 0 to t, and this will be from C naught to 10 times of C naught, right. So, it gives an expression something like this, 1 by C naught minus 1 by 10 C naught is equal to K A C naught V naught times t. Everything will be known, C naught is known, K is known, A is known, V naught is known, and you can estimate the value of t, and this t turns out to be around 19 minute, let us say 20 minute. Okay. And final volume turns out to be 0.5 liter. So, the most important thing is that you have to carry out the concentration experiment for 20 minutes under these conditions, the given conditions, to concentrate at feed concentration, concentrate for a protein solution by 10 times. Okay. In fact, these simplifications are useless. You can directly do the numerical integration after getting the formulation, because I would like to give you a feeling of what is the typical order of magnitude of the time that you require for this operation. I did this assumption and got these new simplifications. Otherwise, one can directly do numerical integration by using a trapezoidal rule, can estimate the time required for this to achieve this particular concentration of the protein. Okay. So, in the next class, in tomorrow's class, we will be solving some more problems. Those will be relevant for our, as far as our examination is concerned. Thank you.